Good afternoon. Greetings. Um, yeah, I've come on today because of the message that came through about the ancestors, Egungun. And I know how much they play, I'm hoping in its life, how much they play a role in my life. And I ain't saying that I got all the answers to all of that yet. I'm going to come from my perspective and what's taken place in my world about the ancestors. So they wanted me to get you to understand that this space of calling on your ancestors and praying to your ancestors and giving offering to your ancestors for a reason. In order to be an honored ancestor or an ancestor that is able to assist you on this level, there's certain things on this plane, should I say, there's certain things that you have to do in order to allow them to assist you. We all have people that have done certain things in life. So when they pass over, that energy, if not been dealt with, kind of they have to deal with that energy on that side. Now, the only reason why I understand this, I don't know if anybody's into them or not. I've been to Mises, Iku Jokos, with sitting down with the Eguns and ancestors and stuff. I've been to many of them. I've witnessed a lot of things in these places. And one of the things that the spirits, when they speak on topics, they talk about not so much their experiences there, yet, the transition from this plane to that plane, we have a responsibility about in this life. And it's like what they don't know in life or what they don't do in life, they learn in that transitional space. So Alafia, Lord, I'm using my son's phone on Instagram, so that's really tiny writing, so I can't see it. I ain't even gonna lie. Ooh, let me see. Alafia, Iya, how you doing, darling? Anyway, so they, and some of the things that I've been in contact with, well, not in contact with, but witnessing in these spaces is that whatever you do in life, you have to deal with in transition. We've found out on many occasions when we've done divination and whatnot, certain things that our ancestors have done. And the reason why we give them food and we give them praise is in order to elevate their energies. You want them to work for you on that side, that means you have to give them honor from this side. But in order to become an honored ancestor, you have to acknowledge the things that you do in this life. They've come back on many occasions in different misas, from the spaces that I've been in, and spoke about their behaviors in life and how they have having to still deal with that energy on the other side. So in order to have a better space for the ancestors to work, or the ancestors to help us, or the ancestors to do anything, it starts with us on this side. We can connect with them. We connect with them by, like I said, we do praises, we do singing, we do offerings, we send them food. Some will light candles. We do all this stuff in order to keep that connection going. We do all that stuff in order to keep them assisting us. Because remember, anytime any spirits do anything, they do so, how do I put it? In order to assist, people are used. So if the ancestor uses somebody else to bring you blessings, other spirits can also use somebody to bring you, the unsavory stuff. So when you understand that, if you have ancestors that that had a challenge in this life and you want to assist them, then it's your duty on this realm to give them offering, to give them light, to give them love, to call on their names, to elevate their spirits so they can assist you more. This is one of the things that, one thing that we all have in common is we have ancestors. We, regardless of where you are, who you are, what people you are, what part of the world you are, we all have people that we came from. And part of our duty is to keep that lineage, to keep that sacred space continuing, But, I remember when I was told about Sheps Hetep. This is in the Kemetic system. Sheps Hetep is honored ancestors. And that one of my jobs or one of my duties of being here was to be working with the honored ancestors. And they was like, in order to be an honored ancestor, you have to be honored in life. So that's basically saying that what we do in our lifetime, will then assist our families moving forward. So we have to keep that in mind when we are moving around in our day to day. Whatever's going on in this life, we have an obligation to make sure that what our children end up living in, we're able to assist them on the other side. Not a lot of people understand that the ancestors have such a profound effect. I watched a little video on Instagram earlier on about how certain spiritualities, certain religions of what do they call it, have purposely made African spiritualities, made it like demonize it in order to create their space of making their space look better. So anything to do with African spirituality, because African spirituality, first and foremost, ancestral worship or ancestral veneration was just it's part of our day of life. It was part of our world. It wasn't something that we had to go and figure out. This was something that we knew. This was something that was raised. This was something that was reared in our family. You honored your ancestors because they was with us. There was a continuous cycle. It was never, I know things change, like when they say here, they think of, oh yeah, being over the cemetery. But in Africa back in the old days, they didn't have cemeteries. You buried your people in your yards or in your house. So the connection, I understand as things move forward and you do what you do to be able to move forward in whatever way it's possible. But I'm just saying the ancestral worship or ancestral renovation is very important. I was looking at another thing that brought my attention to this so much. You've got all these people that, I say this Epstein stuff again, how deep it goes. When people know about ancestors and they pray to them, or they get other people praying to them unbeknownst to them. What we have here, is it the Memorial Day or, Veterans Day or whatever the case may be? Yes, you deal with your ancestors, but the biggest energy is that you're feeding into whatever system that they've created in order for them to continue to assist. Now we've got to understand that we have an obligation with our families to do that for us, and in order to gain their support the way we want to, then we pray, we give the offerings, we give we sing, we have, whenever I hear Egungun speak, and it's only recently I get emotional, because I know that my dad or my grandfather is present and they are giving messages. And just to know that whatever my prayers are, they're hearing, and they want to help, they want to support, they want to assist in moving blockages out of my way, or to bring in energies that I need or people that I need in my world to support me. It's just important that we understand that. It's not a difficult thing in regards to connecting to ancestors. We talk. The same ways I'm talking, we talk. It's a connection. We have to make a connection. We have to continue the connection. Like when I couldn't, in order to speak to you now, I couldn't do so without making a connection. So the same thing with the ancestors. We have to call on them. That's the thing. You remember that movie? What was it called? It was the Mexican movie about the Day of the Dead or something. I can't remember what it's called. What's it called? If anybody can remember what it was called. But anyway, they were talking about, certain ancestors that have been gone for the longest time. If their names weren't getting called, they would die out. And the thing is, when you call on your ancestors' names, they are very present in your world. And that's how you keep that energy moving, that keep that connection going. You call on their names, and even the ones that you don't know their names, like I say, all the ancestors' names that I don't know, but yet they are positive and for my highest good, I call on them, I call on their energy. And anytime that I'm doing any work or offerings to the ancestors, I call on them too, because all the ancestors, whatever things have happened in their world, they all need elevating, So one of the things, like I said, I've been to different misas, and hearing spirits speak about where they are on the other side, there is an obligation that we don't really get that. They'll say, okay, I remember one time they was talking about how certain ancestors, how they died, people who died through getting jujued or, was killed or had some kind of setup where they was brutally murdered and this kind of thing, So there was a lot of people that was about to get initiated and get ashe, and the spirits was like, look, you know, with you having this ability to raise your level of understanding and you know, your the way you present yourself to the world, it's now your duty to use your ashe on a positive note, in order so we don't always keep welcoming people that get murdered or get killed or get jujued or get, you know, because that's a low level energy. You know what I mean? That's a lot of energy that in order to venerate it or to raise it up, you have to do a lot of stuff. So it's like, you know, you need to understand that you have a responsibility while you're living, while you are breathing, while you're speaking to somebody else, while you are caring for others, in order to know that you, when you go, what is your input, or what is your access, or what are you going to do to assist your family that you left behind, you know? And I don't think we pay attention to that. There's so much of the ego, there's so much of the arrogance. You know, I'm big, bad, and broad. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. One of the things that they said was the ancestors may forgive you for doing unsavory things, but the Orisha don't. So basically, whatever you do on this realm, in this world, that is in accordance to harming somebody else or doing something to somebody else, you will be accountable for it. I don't know how that plays out for you or whatever, but I'm looking at like what I do here. I don't want anything coming back to me or my family. So I ain't trying to change somebody else's world. It's just not possible. I do when people are being unsavory, or people are being, you know, kind of disappointing in their behavior. I talk to my Orisha. I give them the situation that's going on. I talk to my ancestors. I let them know that, look, this situation is going on. However you handle it, more power to you. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But if you see that I'm being unjustly dealt with, then I ask for your assistance. I ask for your guidance. I ask for your support in supporting me and my family through anything that's going on. So we have to remember that our ancestors are there to support us, to guide us, to love us, to protect us. They're there continuously. I did a post just the other day about, you know, they work for us 24/7, 365 days a year. And it's because they have a vested interest in us. If we make it, they've made it. We clean up whatever we got to clean up in here. It's cleaning up the ancestral line, which all it does, it makes it stronger, makes it more powerful, makes them be able to do so much more. And I went back to the thing about prayer. It's in our prayers that we call upon their assistance. And the more we call upon their assistance as a collective, because I know people don't want to hear about unity and stuff, but the more we call upon their support as a collective, you'll see the system that we know that as individuals we can't do nothing about. You will see systematically they get broken down. Within their own structures, within their own spaces, their own people will get brought down bit by bit. They will be exposed for the negativity that they're doing, and they can't take it back. You see all the stuff that people with all these pedophile rings and children trafficking, sex trafficking, everything's coming up. Why? Because they've had a system in place for so long, and you know what? Our prayers are being answered. No matter how much we pray, how much we, you know, as we can't, as I said, physically do something like, change the fact of what the government is doing. But in our prayers, what the spirits see, because they see from a larger perspective that we understand, they see everything. So they'll know what other nook and cranny to go into in order to expose it from the inside out. And when you hear of it, you'll be like, yo, so all this is going on and we didn't know? That's why, you know, when you have so much corruption, no matter what side of the direction you want to look at, you can't win until that corruption has been brought up to the surface and destroyed from the inside out. And that's where the prayers come in. That's where the ancestors come in. You remember when we speak to our ancestors, when we call on our ancestors, they will utilize other people to bring the blessings or to destroy or to create whatever scenario that you want to see happen. They will utilize other people to do so. That's the only way we get blessings. But you have to understand, in order for them to utilize you, you've got to be in a space to be utilized. You know what I mean? I said it before, you know, in keeping yourself balanced, you can't be used negatively if you're vibrating at a high space. It's just not possible. You can't be brought in to destroy somebody's world if you're vibrating at a high space. But if you are vibrating at the level of a cesspit level, they will utilize you to bring harm to somebody else, even if you didn't intend to. But because you vibrating in that space, you attract what you are. So, you know, we ask the ancestors to support us and to guide us into doing the right things and to be able to change the world as we know it. You know what I mean? If we don't put the effort in to changing reality as it is, what are we leaving our children with? You know, what are we setting ourselves up for to fight with on the other side? I'm like, you know, whatever I can do in this life that is positive and for my highest good and for my family's highest good, I'm going to continue to do. Despite what anybody else looks like and says, whether they think that I'm doing it for ulterior motives or for whatever the case may be, as long as my connection to my higher and everything is intact, I'm good. I would love and I would pray that in my time of transition, I become an honored ancestor. There was one time that I asked, at a Misa, I asked Maria, love her to bits. I said to her, why don't my ancestors come? You know, I don't understand. Why don't my ancestors come? You know, whenever. And she said, you know, when certain times your ancestors have already elevated, they've already moved on. They're already in a higher realm. And so, you know, they only come down or they come to this space when you call them. Now, or that, you know, they have random access to do whatever they want. So I was like, okay. So you get in that realm of them ancestors, and we know we got ancestors that, like I said, died unsavory, that did bad things, that never went to the light, if you want to call it, never went through to the light. And so it's in this space that you assist them by doing the prayers, doing the offerings, doing the guidance, doing the support, the prayers, the food, the drinks, that raises their vibration in order for them to assist us more. So if you find that, you know what I mean, you're having a hard time in connecting with your ancestors, you gotta speak positivity into them. You know, what they were in life is not always what they are now. They've passed. It's like there's a shift. Their body is not here. The physical body that kept them housed in a certain way of thinking and processing stuff is not the same. They have been shedding of this vessel, and they're in a space where they're exposed to a lot more wisdom, a lot more knowledge, and a lot more energies. So now they can say, oh, shoot. Now, if I'd have did that then, you know what I mean, I wouldn't have been kind of like here right now. But we have an opportunity while we're here to assist them, and not only assist them, it assists us. And that's why I say that right now, especially in this point of time, ancestors are very, very important. They are the energies, the support system that is basically, they understand what took place in this world. They understand what brought it to this level. They understand, they know. So it's with their knowledge and wisdom that we ask for their help in order to change what's going on now. You know what I mean? It isn't that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for us to all tap in. You know, even if you don't understand, well, what ancestral worship is, or if you think through religious spaces, talking to the dead is demonic or negative, it's not. There's so much power in connecting to your ancestors that a lot of people don't want you to access that, because when you access a power that they know that is higher than them, they lose access and control over you. So this is one of the biggest things. We need to continue talking to our ancestors. Like I said, even if you don't know, call upon your grandmother, your grandfather, whomever, and talk to them. Tell them what's going on. Bring their energy close. And if they need something, you know, even if you don't even know what to give them a little plate of food. You know, give them some water, give them some coffee, whatever it is that you know that they had in their lifetime, or even if you don't know, just say, you know what, I just feel like offering you some candy today because, you know, I'm calling upon you. And I say this because not everybody's into ancestral worship or ancestral veneration. It's not something that's always a part of everybody's world. You know, there's different people that come from different places. So if they're not used to it, they don't even know what exists. But I'm saying that everybody, every person on this planet that is a connection, is that we have our ancestors. We all have them. Good, bad, or indifferent, we have them. But we have a responsibility, we have an opportunity to change their existence, in our life, and to allow their wisdom to move through us by calling on them. Dad, grandma, granddad, Baba, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. We know. I mean, spiritual people that are in tradition, they already know. You already know that when people pass away, you do readings to find out what's going on and blah blah blah, what they need moving forward onto the other side. We already know this. So if you understand that there's things that you do in life that affect you when you pass, then let's work on being better people ourselves. That's why I say every day, how do we change the vibration of this planet with love? I ain't saying this just because, you know what I mean, I like to hear myself speak or think that unconditional love doesn't exist. I know it does. And that's part of the thing that's missing in this world and why people do the things that they do to people, because there's not enough love there. Because think about it, if you love the way you're supposed to with the connection to source, most folks wouldn't do the things that they do to people. That's why the system is in the way it is. There's so much fear, there's so much destruction going on, because it's a lack of love. And you know what? We know that the sweet things that we want in life are being presented to us. The ancestors are like, you want to help? Call on us. We're here. If you don't want to help, I don't know what to tell you. But they're there. And if you've not realized at times when certain things don't work out the way you want, and you don't realize that certain ancestors are going to come in and trip you up or make a situation, a scenario not work out the way you want, that's what they do. Ancestors all do that. So, you know, when you want that support and guidance the way you want it, in order to honor them and honor yourself, then, you know, you talk to them, you work with them, and you raise them up, you elevate their energies by doing the right things in life too. So when you do transition, you will be honored, you will be able to assist them with the knowledge and wisdom that you've gained. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I did the Facebook and Instagram thing again because I was like, yo, that weren't too bad. And I know, like I said, that's 15 minutes rubbish, where they said if it's not more than 15 minutes, because Instagram, there's many videos that I wanted to put on there, but because it was over 15 minutes, I've not been able to do it, but they're on my Facebook. But anyway, this one was just about, you know, the ancestors and what we need to do. And in order to be an honored ancestor, you got to be honored in life. And how do you be how do you become honored in life? By doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Allowing love to be a part of who you are and allow it to manifest and to make changes in this world. The ancestors are waiting for us. They got a lot of energy and a lot of information that's going to shift the way things are. They do the work that we don't know how to do. They get information that we're not privy to, but they make sure it gets to do what it's supposed to do. You'll be surprised at how much work the ancestors do and change so much things without your awareness or without your even input when you're sleeping. So I honor our ancestors collectively, and I pray that our ancestors hear our prayers wherever we are in the world, that they hear our prayers and support us in changing this planet and bringing the support that we need, to bring in the love in this world, to change in the dynamics, to change in the corruption, to change in the oppression, to change all the brutalities. All of that is enough. Allow the ancestors to come, allow us to call on their energies and call on their guidance to support us through this, so we can live a better world, you know what I mean, and do better things to each other than what we've been dealing with. Okay, this is not to negate anything that's going on or to support or to take away from anything that's happening. I'm just saying the ancestors are there, and if you've never prayed or called on your ancestors, this is the time to do it. Even if you don't know how, you know, you've got somebody on the other side. You talk to them, let them know what's going on, and let them know what help you need, and you see the difference. I promise you. And I know, I can't make promises to everybody, but the promise is that they will always do for you. You want help, ask them. They have more power to help you now than they did in life. You know what I mean? They can make things happen that you can't see. They see around corners that you can't. So call on them. They're always there to support and help. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I love you, and I love me too. And until the next time, I'm trying to see on each one, where do I stop it? But anyway, love you all. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Peace out. Oh, don't forget 555. I'm still doing the 555 prayers. That never changes. You know what I mean? Love you all. Take care. Peace out.